Adina had waited in the waiting room for nearly 2 hours now. Ed hadn't meant to avoid the application process for VMA so long. Everyone had called it more an acceptance process than an application, so it seemed like one could do it at the last minute. But maybe Ed had known, deep down, that problems like this would have arrived. With each minute that passed, the foreigners' chances to remain in Victubia were slimming down to a fraction. They could feel it. All Ed knew was that they didn't have an element, and that the abilities they did have weren't adding up, and that was scaring the teachers as much as it was scaring Ed. Voices in the office rose in both passion and confusion, the words overheard not unlike slaps to the face. They can't have no element. It's not possible.
What is wordcraft supposed to be anyway?
Okay. They're 22. That's far too old to start an education.
There's no age limit on students. We have late bloomers.
They're late.
Must be some weird barbarian genes from the Phantom Lands giving them mutant powers.
That's not funny.
I was only half joking.
Looks like they're going to bring more trouble than they're worth. Can't we just send them back to wherever they came from? Unheard, Ed snorted to themselves. You can try,
Ed said they were banished.
said one of the calmer voices.
Literally thrown off a mountainside.
That's what they said. That's another thing. What kind of name is Ediana? Edit? Okay. Edna? Sure. But Ediana? It was a typo, Ed muttered. But because the staff were in another room and believed they couldn't be heard, the staff kept on and on, some wanting Ed gone, some willing to try. Even Ed didn't know what kind of schooling was possible for them, let alone acceptance. They dug their nails into their pants leg, bunching up the fabric in their palm, the air in the awaiting waiting room growing despairingly cold. All Ed wanted was to stay in Tubia, to have a chance to be part of something bigger. But maybe that truly was asking too much. Maybe they weren't meant for this after all.
Mary Gabbi has granted them citizenship,
said a female voice, commanding and blunt. A lead of sorts, then.
That makes Ed and Dina our responsibility, just like any other student.
Fine, someone hissed. So, what should we do with them?
There may be an explanation, at least for the wordcraft. Let me try talking to them.
Ed sat up immediately, back against the wall, trying to look like they'd been twiddling their thumbs the whole time. The door opened, and Ed had the urge to keep their gaze low and away, an instinct that tended to lead to worse interactions with people. Ed fought to look them in the eye, not wanting to appear rude or timid. Well, the latter would be accurate, but still.
Hey there, Ed. I'm Sylvia, principal of BMA.
Ed nodded. Hi, great to meet you. Damn, why was eye contact so hard? Sounds like I'm causing a ruckus in there.
Of course not. Don't think like that. We're just trying to piece it all together.
Ed could only offer a half-hearted shrug.
Ed, can you tell me about this word crafting ability?
Ed shut their eyes, took in a breath. Here we go. Well, it's what we call the ability to make the stuff we wrote real, like from books.
What stuff?
Like characters, places, objects, that kind of thing.
Does this stuff maintain itself? Or does the magic user need to maintain it?
We maintain it, or it fades, or it just goes out of our sight. My friend once. Ed stared at their feet. I don't know. I was never formally trained, not even in my homeland. That's not usually done. The stuff might still be there and not visible. It might not. I don't know.
Do you feel that it is?
I don't know. Ed glanced to the side. I feel like there's a presence left over. I don't know. Ed shut their eyes, counted to 7, breathing in, then 11, breathing out, trying so hard to breathe.
It's okay.
Sylvia offered a hand on Ed's shoulder.
You're doing great. Don't be nervous. So when you create these things, is your mind focused on the text or the image in your head?
Uh-huh. What?
Do you draw the power from yourself, your mental image, or what actually written?
Ed thought about that hard. You know, I'm not actually sure. The focus is on the text we wrote, but that in itself creates an image, so I guess it could be either one.
That's alright. That's fine.
Yet Sylvia seemed to be losing footing, moving her hand away.
And if someone touches what's been created, what happens?
Ed hoped being honest wouldn't confuse things further, wouldn't exclude them from the school and Victubia. It depends. Sometimes the thing or character breaks apart. They can be made again or revealed again. I don't know. Other times they're a lot more solid, but that's usually with objects and weapons and things, not characters. My stuff usually breaks, but I don't know why. I do my best. I don't know what I do wrong.
It might not be effort that's failing you. In that case, yes, that sounds a lot like red and yellow.
Who and what?
Spirits, Eddeha. See, from what I can tell you, your magic's not fake or different, just translated differently. Your homeland has different words to describe it than we do, which frankly is what I was hoping to find out.
What do you think it translates to?
Well, your wordcraft involves spirits. Most mages can download them, to some extent. Red and yellow create material and illusion, which sounds a lot like the things you're trying to do to bring back to life with wordcraft.
Ed swallowed hard. It felt strange to hear this, but Ed didn't disagree with it. So, we're basically using this spirit stuff, is what you're saying, to use.
Yeah, basically. See, my thoughts is we know spirits as a source of energy, which is why you're probably sensing a presence, even when spirits are in use. They are the very soul of the earth, found everywhere. I bet that red and yellow energizers are quite prominent in your homeland. When used correctly, they can be great tools for mages.
Ed remembered another thing their friend had said, that all created things came from inside the creator and outside of it, that nothing was created from nothing, that nothing was truly new and original, that everything was, in a way, a recreation of something else. That actually makes a lot of sense, Ed said. I mean, it explains a lot about how wordcraft works. Stuff I kinda knew, but didn't.
Good that we pieced that together at Tinny here, Eddeha. I can promise you that you'll learn the difference of red and yellow spirits, how to harness them well, in essence improve your wordcraft.
Ed grinned. Really?
Really. Now, we just need to figure out what your element must be.
Ed frowned. Oh. Right.
What? Aren't you excited to find out? Elements are hard to control, but most are eager to learn how to use them. I know I was.
But I have no idea what it is. And that scares me a little. I mean, I think it could be fire.
Have you tried bending fire before?
Ed glanced at their feet. For the majority of the past 2 hours? Yeah.
Have you ever been anything on accidents, then? Elements like water, wood, earth, wind, metal, lightning. Has your voice done anything strange?
Ed shook their head at each one, more so on the last. I only think it's fire because, well, it's a creator's element symbol, I guess. Making something from thin air involving heat, which is like emotion or something. It could be the upper class fandom folk in me talking. I like fire. I want it to be fire.
Have you ever burned something with your touch or proven resistance to fire?
Ed flinched viciously. The last one, but for entirely different reasons, I think, unrelated.
How so?
Ed started to actually twiddle their thumbs just so they could be doing something, thinking about something else along with that. Well, in my homeland, at least, we had this phrase. You can't burn someone who's already been burned, and that happened.
I'm sorry.
It is what it is, Ed said. 7, 11 in, out. Are you sure I have an element? The hand was on Ed's shoulders again.
Look, I know how you must be feeling right now, but rare situations like this come up now and again, and there's always an explanation. There used to be confusion about my element, as well, because I turned out to have 2.
You do?
Yes, metal and wind. And a lot of people told me that was impossible too.
Sylvia removed her hand, only to cross her arms.
Ed, you seem to have a lot of practice with red and your yellow spirits, mostly yellow from what you have said. I haven't seen you use this, but if you're using it a lot and to great lengths, that could have had an effect on you as a whole and drained you, making it harder for you to use your element or for it to show yourself. Only spirit sages can avoid that kind of backlash, or really use spirit magic so extensively.
Could I be a spirit sage?
I cannot say at this time. There could also be something blocking your element, or you could be a late bloomer in that respect. Either way, when you attend there, I suspect your element will show itself within your first year.
But if it doesn't, and I don't... Wait, when I attend? I'm already in?
Welcome to Victubia's Magic Academy, Lady Eddeha. Or would you prefer Lord?
Still amazed at the news, Ed just grinned at her. Yes! Ed stood in their half-empty dorm room, tugging the buckles of their training uniform tight across their chest. They remembered how shocked the tailor had been when Ed requested a black uniform. No one had worn one in almost 15 years, as the unknown category had become obsolete. Once finished, Ed inspected themselves in the mirror. The black sort of worked with their dark brown hair and made their brown eyes stand out, and the shape of it helped to add to the androgynous look they were going for. Still, Ed had to wonder what color uniform they might be wearing next year, or maybe if it would be the same as this one. Ed tried the school uniform next, a little disappointed that their chest was a little more chesty in this one. Even more disappointed when they tugged the tie in place and realized they had no pin to place there. Everyone else would have one after all, along with the extra classes that Ed couldn't take, An accidental free period, I supposed. Accidental pin-free tie. Wait! Turning from the mirror to the corner full of boxes. Ed grabbed a box marked clothes and crud, searching through it, remembering. Over a month ago, when Ed had first arrived, there had been a terrorist threat during an event at Mink's castle. Feeling understaffed for the job, Lord Markiplier had called for volunteers to help guard the halls and keep the castle secure. After the event was over, Ed had gone to a full-time guard and returned the security uniform, which had been way too big for them and made onlookers laugh, but was told to keep the security pin that had been handed out. You're an honorary hero of Victubia. Hold on to it. Wear it. Show others what you did and be proud of yourself, the guard had said. Lord Markiplier commands it. Ed cheered softly, finding the pin and placing it on their tie. The red heart stood out strong against the black as well. They looked in the mirror again and felt somehow the pin kept them from appearing like some sort of Victubian black sheep. Couldn't show their element to student and faculty. But they could still show that they were a Victubian.